call our EHS subcommittee meeting to order at 7:02. First item is roll call. Councilor Ortiz.
Present.
Citizen Member Torres. Present. Councilor Rivas. Present. Councilor Montigny. Absent. Citizen Member Provost. Also absent. All right. We will continue to the first item, the minutes from 11/6/23. I have copies of the minutes if anyone wants any copies. I'll entertain a motion to accept the minutes from 11/6.
So
Second.
Second.
Okay. All those in favor? Oh, I'm sorry, any corrections? Sorry about that. All right, unanimously approved minutes from 11/6. On to the next item, minutes from 11:30 that I had on my laptop. Did you both get a chance to look at them? Okay. All right, a motion to approve the minutes from 11:30.
So moved.
Second. Citizen Member Torres.
Second.
Okay. Any corrections, additions? Didn't see anything I missed. All right. All those in favor? Anyone opposed? Unanimous. All right. And our finals probably be the shortest meeting that we've had. I think we only have, we had updates on any legislation. So I checked in today on the Thrive Act, but they don't have, the Joint Committee on Education has a hearing on February 2nd, but I did not see the Thrive Act on that agenda. They didn't have any updates in their tabs from the last Joint Committee meeting. So I will be checking. They have a bill that they're going to discuss. It has to do with high school athletes, and I think it's around the concussions, a bill around concussions. So that one will be discussed on February 2nd. There was another bill that someone brought to my attention. I don't know, it's not on that agenda either, but it's around educator pay. And increasing the base pay of educators. So that was interesting to me to see that. I believe it was brought forth and supported by the Mass Teachers Association. And I'm not sure who sponsored it, but those were some of the bills that were sort of on my tab. I don't know if anyone else has any information on other
Salary
bills.
one, is that going to be an unfunded mandated one?
That's a good question. I don't know much about it. I just know that it's something that was filed recently. So
Now, how about the student opportunity money? They were funding it at 100% in this year.
yeah, so that will come up in the budget process
Right.
this
But
season.
Didn't last year we have to put on an extra additional money on top of that? That we weren't planning for and ended up having to do that?
I'm gonna let the town manager
So,
address that.
along with the increase in this, well, the Chapter 70 funding, they're also increasing our minimum net school spending limits. So we'll have to take a look at that. The Chapter 70 funding and this minimum net school spending numbers just came out last week. So those were transmitted over to Mr. Iacobucci and Michelle. They're going to take a look at that. I think Chapter 70 money for our district was up approximately $2.5 to $3 million, which was substantial. So it'll be interesting to see what the school has planned for that, because that's like almost $5 million over 2 years.
Yeah.
It's a lot of money to go over to the schools, but with that goes our minimum net school spending as an increase as well.
Right.
I've already communicated to the superintendent or the receiver that all we will be willing to fund this year is minimum net school spending and nothing more than minimum net school spending because of our budget pressures that we have with different pressures with the cost of rising health insurance to the tune of 7 to 10%, and other factors. So we'll evaluate that as that goes forward.
Yeah, I
It'll be
believe.
interesting to see too, I don't know if you've followed the DESI board meeting this past week where they talked about changing the numbers for student accountability.
Oh, I didn't
So
catch
there
it.
was some conversations about student accountability.
Mhm.
It was interesting that it appears that there may have been some violation of open meeting laws. So if you follow Tracy Novick at all,
Oh.
you follow some of her blogs,
Yeah.
she's been very vocal about what they tried to put forward for school districts without having any public hearing or public comments.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't. I do follow her
So
blog.
it'll be interesting to follow that as well.
Yeah.
But we haven't received the school budget yet, so we'll follow that with the legislation that goes forward with the student opportunity.
When the school budget comes, will it be a full budget, or is it just gonna be a bottom line?
We'll see how he presents his budget this year.
Yeah, we'll see. I think I heard that they'll be presenting some information to the school committee in March on budget. So we'll see what we get here at EHS when they're ready. So
Just as a follow-up, if you look at our charter says that they can submit a budget in the form that they so choose.
Yeah, that's true, that's,
Whereas the council will dictate what kind of form we will do. The school can present their budget the way they do. So we will definitely be taking a look at it, especially the fact that we have a retired business manager now that can really analyze the school side. So we'll take a look at it.
So get your questions ready for budget season to begin, so that we can really comb through those budgets and and ask all the tough questions. And hopefully we'll have some citizens joining us, more citizens joining us during that process.
we get that in May, April.
We'll start the budget process. Well, budget process has started, but we'll start at probably meetings in April.
All right. Any further questions, anything anyone wants to talk about as far as legislation? That's the,
But when are we gonna get our schools back?
hopefully soon, we'll see.
Has there been any discussion or
Again,
training of the school committees, or?
the last update, I had asked Martina if she could present tonight, but I don't think she was available. I knew that there has been someone that the state appointed to do some interviews. I was interviewed by Mr. Toner, Paul Toner. He's a former Mass Teachers Association president, a former teacher. And he has been interviewing the school committee members, different community members. I don't know where they are in that process.
Because I've been to a few school committee meetings in the last few months, and the school committee has absolutely said nothing, really done nothing.
Yeah, we can ask them at their next meeting is, do you have that
They
on?
canceled it, they canceled one last week.
Okay. But they
It's
should,
interesting, the gentleman for the school committee has not reached out to the town side to ask any input from the town, which I would think they would.
yeah. I
Would be the
think
first
that
step.
was part of what they were going to do. Again, I can't speak
Mhm.
for him, but I believe, again, it's early on in the process. So I'm not sure at what stage he's at and at what stage they're at with the training. I do know that Carla de la Cruz Davila, she attended the conference
Right.
in, was it November, December? I forget. The school association, kind of like the MMA one, but for school committees, and she attended that and made some connections to Lawrence and Holyoke. And I've had some conversations with Lawrence and Holyoke, just kind of getting to know different people and how, at what stage their receivership is at.
I just feel bad for Carla, because she's left out by herself, pretty much. Yeah, at least that's what the appearance is given when she's trying to bring something forward, or, I just,
Yeah, we just do the best we can and ask questions, and she's new, she does ask a lot of
Oh, she does.
questions, and, we just We just have to ask questions at the school committee meetings and invite the chair, invite the receiver to come to our meetings and give us an update. I know that we invited the commissioner. I don't know if we have an update on the commissioner.
I do not, but
Coming?
I do have a meeting scheduled with the receiver for Thursday, my standing monthly meeting, so.
Yeah, I'd love to know, because
Ask him
that
again.
was, a promise, or that was a part of what was in our,
Wasn't he supposed to come with up to us in the last month or so to give us an update of what's going on?
I mean,
He
that
hasn't done
is
that.
part of being in receivership, right? So we'll keep asking and keep pushing, keep writing those letters to Desi. I encourage parents ask me questions all the time, to write letters, and to just follow the Department of Secondary Education on their board meetings, and the legislation on the Thrive Act. That's probably the most relevant one to receivership. And if you don't know what that legislation entails, it's creating a pathway to come out of receivership for districts that are in receivership, to end receivership in the future, and also to end the graduation requirement around MCAS. So those three things are addressed in that act. I don't have an update as to when they'll have a final vote with the whole state, the legislature. So that's it. That's all I have for today. All right. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All right. All those in favor? Thank you. Unanimous.